top 5 reasons why Avalanche. Number 1, outstanding tokenomics. When you look at the max supply of Avalanche, it has currently 720 million coins. Again, if you check CoinMarketCap, you'll be able to see that the AVAX, which is the native coin for Avalanche, has a total supply of 720 million. But that's just not all. Also, all the fees that go through the Avalanche ecosystem are 100% burned. Ethereum, for example, has some of its fees burned and the rest go to the miners. But on Avalanche, 100% of it is burned, making it deflationary. And as you can see on the graph right here, you can see all of the gas fees that have been 100% burned over the course of time. And right here at the end, the gas fees do go down, and I will explain that in my final point, but that is a good thing. Number 2, Avalanche is the fastest decentralized blockchain. Most people assume that Solana is the fastest blockchain, but that's all thanks to their advertising and their skewed TPS figures. In fact, there are many controversies regarding the legitimacy of their transactions.
Solana counts the messages sent by the participants as if they're genuine transactions. Those are not genuine transactions. They're not user submitted. They're not carrying out client work. That's just the internal accounting that Solana had to do that nobody got to see, should have seen actually. So that's complete lying, I think, in their accounting. And that's how they got those, that's how they get these this high TPS.
Theoretically, I can run a blockchain on my laptop and then advertise millions of transactions per second. That doesn't mean that it's a good thing. Not to get too technical, but TPS, or transactions per second, is a measure of throughput, not time. The measurement for time is a metric called time to finality. That's essentially when you put in the transaction and it's done. In Avalanche, this is under 1 second. I'm not going to go through all the other blockchains, but trust me, you can go through them, and Avalanche is much faster. If you find one that is faster, look at the validator count. The most decentralized and fastest blockchain is Avalanche when you look at time to finality. And I dare you to find one that's faster, that is also more decentralized. Trust me, I've looked. Number 3, Avalanche has one of the most dedicated teams I've ever seen in the blockchain space. This might actually seem very simple, but trust me, many teams in the crypto space sort of go in, they see the quick money that they meet, and they get out. Look at FTM, for example. One of their founders actually left the project, but I digress. I am truly inspired by all the things that the Avalanche team has accomplished until now. And that's not to say that there haven't been any mistakes along the way. The first and foremost, Terra Luna, the partnership between Avalanche and Terra Luna. It didn't end too well. We all know the outcome. If you don't know that, I encourage you to Google it. It's quite interesting. But you don't see the team deterred. They're in fact even more invigorated and filled with passion and fire to actually make something great. Which brings me to my number 4. Avalanche plans to tokenize all the world assets. What does that mean? Well, let me give you an example. AWS, or Amazon Web Service, first launched in 2006. For those of you who don't know, AWS actually provides the infrastructure for all of the most popular websites currently, be it Facebook or YouTube or whatever, or emails. It relies on AWS. And if we look at the AWS revenue, you can see that it's been going up constantly. So this is probably one of, if not the most profitable venture Amazon started. Mind you, this was started back in 2006. Right now, I believe that Avalanche is in the same position to provide the blockchain infrastructure for future developments of permissionless and permissioned blockchains through subnets. Which brings me to my fifth point. Subnet. Subnets, very simply put, are Avalanche's scaling solution. For example, Ethereum cannot scale on its own, so it relies on Matic as L2s or layer 2s or Optimism or whatever, which honestly is a band-aid solution because these chains tend to exist on their own. If Ethereum were to go bankrupt, probably not bankrupt, but if it were to collapse tomorrow, these chains would try to function with their own token. So what they're doing is essentially they're actually taking value from the underlying chain, it being Ethereum. Avalanche's Subnets are blockchains within a blockchain, which means that you can actually scale within the system. It's sort of like that Inception, a dream within a dream. So this is sort of like that. It's like Blockception, a blockchain within the blockchain. Well, yeah. Anyway, there's not a single tech company or gaming company that's not looking into blockchains or hiring people from the blockchain space. Now, these companies can open up their own blockchain, which will take up a lot of time, a lot of resources, possibly tens of millions of dollars, or they can actually buy AVAX, stake it in certain validators, and have those validators validate their own blockchain. Now, what are the inherent advantages for this? Number one, you don't have to make a blockchain from scratch. Probably if you did, it wouldn't probably work that well anyway. It would be a centralized buggy mess like Solana. Number two, you can make it permissioned or permissionless. So what's actually stopping these huge institutions from going into crypto or blockchains is because it's open to everyone. But these subnets can be permissioned. So for example, you can have Visa or MasterCard run on a subnet on a blockchain, and they can actually control, who does what. North Korea can't transact on our blockchain or whatever. Most people don't know, or don't simply understand how big subnets can be. And therein lies an opportunity where we have the opportunity to invest in the next Amazon Web Service. All that said, always do your own research and always invest what you're willing to lose. That's the bottom line. In any case, that's my take on Avalanche. But if you do have your own comments, questions, or criticisms, please write them below. I will try to address them as soon as I can. And let me know what you think about the whole format of these videos that I'm making. I'm definitely open to constructive criticism. That's about it. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the next one.